shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Brand new this morning, just moments ago, a winter storm watch went into effect for tomorrow night and Saturday. We'll talk about the latest in our winter storm.
Destruction in California. This is a live look at the Eaton fire near Los Angeles as people are being told to get out now.
Already have a couple bags packed, ready to go, just grab the essentials and some clothes and that sort of thing.
We'll hear from a North Carolina native who lives in Los Angeles, just miles from where those fires are burning.
Today, the nation is honoring Jimmy Carter, the funeral processions for the former president that will begin in just a few hours. And today is that National Day of Mourning, the final goodbye for the nation's oldest former president. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. We have a lot to tell you about, and we thank you for joining us. So winter storm watch is in effect for the area. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It is great to have you along here. Yeah, it's the real deal out there this morning with that wind chill, bitterly cold. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. This is new overnight as well, Elizabeth.
Yeah, this just came down right at 4 o'clock, so just moments ago. The National Weather Service issued this winter storm watch, and what that means is that we can see snow up to 3 inches or ice up to around a quarter of an inch. A quarter of an inch of ice does get heavy enough to knock down some tree limbs and cause some power outages, knock down those power lines. So that's likely to be for the southern half, or just our southern tier of counties, that the ice storm would be the biggest issue. And then the 3 inches of snow would be for folks in the north. Right in the middle, in the triangle area, we're going to see something in the middle where we'll likely have some snow, maybe up to an inch around the Raleigh area, and then the potential for some sleet and some freezing rain. So we're going to see more snow here, more freezing rain down to the south. We also, for today, and of course that's for Friday night and Saturday, for today we have a cold weather advisory. That may sound like something you've never heard of before. The Weather Service changed its wind chill advisory to a cold weather advisory. We could see the wind chill today dropping down into the teens and single digits as you're headed out the door to work. So that's in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. This is a look at the current wind chill. 17 in Southern Pines and Rocky Mount, 17 South Hill, 18 in Goldsboro, and 20 in Raleigh. But the wind may pick up a little bit later on this morning, and we may see those numbers drop even farther. Let's take a look at our snowfall forecast for the weekend. It looks like this may start mainly as snow, and then we'll have that changeover happen in the triangle area close to midnight. So potentially around Raleigh, an inch, and then more like 3 inches up to the top. Down to the south, it's going to be less than an inch where you see that blue area. Of course, we have the potential for some freezing rain as well. That band of freezing rain is likely to be from the triangle area southward, and that's where we could end up with some power outages. Roads are likely to become slick as we get into Friday night, so keep that in mind. If you had Friday night plans or even during the evening commute, we may have some issues out there, so just make plans accordingly. 26 is our current temperature officially right now, and we'll see our highs only in the upper 30s for this afternoon. Coming up, we're going to take a closer look at the timeline for the snow Friday into Saturday.
Elizabeth, thanks. As you prepare for the winter weather by grabbing groceries and flashlights, DOT crews are prepping the streets. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the NCDOT Maintenance Office in Raleigh. And Kelsey, crews have already started brining some roads. In fact, I saw the telltale stripes driving into work today.
Yes, Renee. So several of these trucks that are here in this NCDOT parking lot will be headed out later today. The state has plans to start brining the interstates in the next few hours. We'll take you to some video now from yesterday where you can see trucks from the town of Cary putting down brine. Cary crews will cover 700 miles by the time they're finished. They prepped main roads and neighborhoods around town. Trash routes are their number one priority.
We brine at 40 gallons per mile. With that, we've got a 24/7 operation.
This is an all-hands-on-deck effort between cities, counties, and NCDOT to prepare everyone for this winter storm. So we did check in with the city of Raleigh, and they say they plan to send out their trucks later today. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
And you can expect live weather updates throughout Friday and Saturday on WRAL News Plus. That's available over the air, Channel 34 and Spectrum 1257.
This is a live look right now in Los Angeles. This is where at least 5 fast-moving wildfires are still growing. Emergency officials say the fires are responsible for 5 people dead so far. Over 100,000 people in the Los Angeles area are under mandatory evacuation orders right now. We know Airbnb is offering free temporary housing for people affected by the fires. When we last checked the CAL FIRE website, it shows the Palisades fire has already burned over 15,000 acres. It is 0% contained. The Eaton fire has exploded to 10,600 acres. The Hearst, Lydia, and Sunset fires are smaller but are still burning out of control. People in evacuation zones are being told to pack a bag and leave immediately.
And Jeff, I tell you what, with this, we know that there are quite a few people without power. In fact, 4 million customers in Southern California that are impacted by this because of the wildfires. I want to show you this map. This is from one of their utility companies over there called Southern California Edison. And as I zoom in the map, you'll just see all these little bell icons showing the the outages that are in Southern California right now. So it's pretty intense that we're seeing there. The other thing I want to show is just this new video that I'm seeing in the feeds. This specifically is at the Pacific Palisades in California in Ventura County's fire department. They are the ones who are showing this video, and you'll see just how much they are trying to spray the water on these flames to put them out as much as they can. But as you mentioned, some of these fires, they're hard to fight. One of them even 0% contained. So this is a serious situation that continues to develop.
Chris, thanks. Former North Carolinians who now live in Southern California find themselves in the middle of the massive wildfires. Ariane Mobasher lives in Los Angeles, but has ties to the Triangle. He admits how scary it is to watch everything unfold. He's grateful to be able to seek refuge from the fires.
I'm fortunate enough to have family that lives a little bit outside the city, away from the action. And when I lost power this morning, one of 4 million people in Los Angeles County affected, I just decided it was best to get out.
Mobasher says he has a sensitive respiratory system, so it's been critical for him to get as far away from the smoke as he can.
Today, new State Superintendent Mo Green will give his first report of the State Board of Education. The meeting gets started at 9 o'clock this morning, and the State Board will also be voting on new name, image, and likeness rules for student athletes today. The rule change would allow high school students to work out deals with brands and companies for the 2025 and 26 school year. The State Board currently prohibits those high schoolers from entering into NIL deals.
Today, the nation says its final farewell to President Jimmy Carter. This is a live look at Carter's flag-draped casket as he lies in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. The public visitation will end at 7 this morning. His casket will be removed from the Capitol during a ceremony at 9, and Carter's national funeral service will be held at the Washington National Cathedral at 10. Afterward, he will travel by plane back to his home state of Georgia. A motorcade will carry his body to Maranatha Baptist Church in his hometown of Plains. A private funeral service will happen there at 3:45 this afternoon.
Today, a North Carolina police officer will be laid to rest. He was shot and killed last month. The funeral service for Officer Michael Horan will be held in Greensboro starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can watch a live stream on WRAL.com. A Greensboro police officer was shot and killed December 23rd while responding to a call inside a Food Lion supermarket. Law enforcement from across the state participated in a procession for him from Raleigh to Greensboro days later. The man accused of killing him, Terrell McMillan, is facing first-degree murder charge.
Surviving in the Australia wild, how a hiker was able to stay alive for 13 days when he got lost in a national park.
A train crash caught on camera. We'll show you the moment a high-speed rail slams into a car in Miami.
And this is a live look at Apex. We are under a cold weather advisory this morning. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us what temperatures will feel like when you step outside.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
442 new this morning. We have a winter storm watch in effect for the entire viewing area, but what you'll see depends on where you are. We'll have a better chance of enough freezing rain for a few isolated power outages in the south, and then in the north we could see up to 3 inches of snow, and then we're going to see somewhere in the middle around the triangle area. So tomorrow is a WRAL weather alert day, and so is Saturday for that potential for snow. This morning, cold weather advisory, which used to be wind chill advisories, in effect. Those wind chills could drop down into the single digits. Right now we're looking at wind chills in the teens across much of the region. So you definitely want to bundle up. It is awfully cold out there right now. We take a look at our temperature: 26 in Durham and Raleigh, 26 in Fayetteville. We're seeing clear skies now. We'll talk more about the timeline for tomorrow's snow coming up.
A hiker has been found alive after vanishing in Australia's dense wilderness nearly 2 weeks ago. Hadi Nazari disappeared after walking down a trail in a national park near Sydney. Police began a massive search involving hundreds of people. A group of hikers found him yesterday near a trail about 6 miles from where he was last seen. He says he only ate 2 granola bars during the 13 days he was lost. Paramedics say he was in surprisingly good health for that.
In a surprising interview on camera, a woman confirms to WRAL Investigates she is the woman in this recording.
She literally had me buy a trash can, dude, and keep him in there for a month.
The she referred to here is Avante Devon, a Fayetteville mother accused of murdering 2 of her adopted children, London and Blake. After her arrest, police said Avante forced someone else to participate in a plan to hide Blake's body by dismembering and burning it. The woman in the recording is Cherish Devon, another one of Avante's adopted children. Cherish confirmed to WRAL Investigates Chris Lovingood she participated in that crime.
When she asked you to be a part of this crime, what did she ask you specifically?
There was no asking. There was just, you do it. You're doing it. If not, you're getting in trouble.
That was just a small portion of the near hour-long interview Cherish Devon had with Chris. Hear more from her on why she says she was forced to be a part of this crime and what she witnessed moments before she said her brother died. That's tonight at 6 on WRAL.
President-elect Donald Trump wants GOP senators to pass his agenda as quickly as possible after he is sworn in. Trump met with senators on Capitol Hill yesterday. He talked with them about his plans to shut down the border and raise the debt limit. He also pushed his desire to use tariffs as a way to balance the budget. Trump downplayed divisions between House and Senate Republicans over the strategy to pass the agenda, telling them he is open to whichever path is successful.
A train in North Miami Beach slammed into a car after the driver disregarded the crossing arms. Brightline posted this video to X with a safety message, and you can see cars stopped at the crossing gates. Well, one car drove past the traffic, through the gates, and onto the tracks as that Brightline train zooms through. The car was hit on the rear passenger side. Firefighters say the driver was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Fortunate there. Ports on the East Coast will remain open as tens of thousands of dock workers reached a tentative agreement on a new contract with the U.S. Maritime Alliance. The deal comes 3 months after the two organizations agreed to a 62% wage increase over the next 6 years. Negotiators, though, still had to sort out the issue of automation, which the union believes could cost jobs. The 6-year deal still must be ratified by longshoremen, the union there with 50,000 of its members.
People in Raleigh are weighing in on a proposal to build a sports and entertainment center near the Lenovo Center in Raleigh. About 30 people attended a neighborhood meeting last night. Some shared their concerns about the rezoning plan. Most of the apprehension was about traffic and congestion. The rezoning is necessary for the Hurricanes to redevelop the land, which includes parking garages, a hotel, multifamily housing, a music venue, and retail space. If the rezoning request is approved, construction could start by December.
We have this live look right now, Carrie, downtown park here. Down in the left-hand corner, you can see there's a fountain there, and it looks like it's not quite frozen yet, although Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, hours out front, is starting the Fountain Mountain look with the freezing.
It definitely is really starting to look a lot different this morning than it did when I left last night. We've had really cold temperatures, of course, for much of the week. We, of course, have a brand new winter storm watch that goes into effect late Friday and continues into Saturday morning. And the impact impacts, of course, are going to be more snow in the north and a better chance for icy conditions down south, potentially enough to cause some power outages. And in the middle of the viewing area, we're going to see a little bit of everything. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We're going to walk you through it. This is starting tomorrow at lunchtime, and it's dry at that point. Futurecast, now that we're looking at the high resolution models, which we didn't have access to yesterday, those are about 48 hours out. So now we have a lot more detail about what's going to happen as all this begins and really all through the event. So this is 1 o'clock tomorrow. You can see a little bit of rain that sneaks in. I wouldn't expect that to be terribly heavy. I know the crews are out brining the roads, and if it rains, it'll wash that brine off. But this should be very light, I would expect, and patchy. This is 3 o'clock with some showers. By 5 o'clock, as we start the evening commute, we're already seeing some snow showers from the Triangle area westward. So you really need to be finished with your evening commute in the Triangle by the time we get to 5 o'clock, because the roads are going to get slippery very fast. It's been cold out, and this is going to be an issue very, very quickly. At 8 o'clock, we have widespread snow across the viewing area, and at 8 o'clock, I would guess it is coming down pretty steadily, pretty heavily. We start to see that changeover, though, down to the south, and by the time we get to 10 p.m., Fayetteville, Clinton, Goldsboro, even parts of Johnston County are seeing that changeover to rain and freezing rain. We're still looking at snow in the Triangle. By midnight to 1 o'clock, we start to see that changeover right around Raleigh. We may never see that changeover in our northern counties, and we see everything moving out by the time we get to around 6 to 8 a.m. So our snow forecast looks like this: a better chance of 3 inches in the north, and then here probably less than an inch. Raleigh's probably going to be right around an inch or so. And then we have the potential for the freezing rain. Could be enough in our southern counties that we end up with some power outages there, some mixed wintry precipitation in the Triangle, and then much less, but some ice in our northern counties. So probably not enough to cause any power outages. So this is going to start as snow, maybe changing over to sleet. And of course, we just watched through that progress from north to south, how that will happen. Roads are going to get slick on Friday and maybe slick on Saturday. Let's talk about this morning. We have a cold weather advisory, which previously was a wind chill advisory. They just changed the name at the Weather Service. So it's dangerously cold out there for us this morning. Feels like 17 in Southern Pines, 18 in Goldsboro, and 17 in Rocky Mount. It is dry out there. Actual temperature here in downtown Raleigh is 26 degrees. Around town today, we'll only be in the 30s, mid to upper 30s for our high temperatures this afternoon. And check out that wind chill. We're in the teens until 10 a.m., and it will only feel like 30 degrees this afternoon. We take a look at expectation versus reality for Friday and Saturday. It is not going to be a winter wonderland for most of us. It's going to be more of a wintry mess. So Friday and Saturday are weather alert days. Once we get past Saturday, Sunday looks dry, and we should see some melting.
Getting into the game, the new immersive technology that allows users to feel and even smell the video game that they are playing.
Honoring a legacy, the new foundation created by the family of late pro golfer Grayson Murray. Now, this is an odd look, okay? Nothing from outer space, no landings. This is the fountain right outside in the WRAL Plaza, and this tower cam shooting straight down on it. You see the water, but you also see the frozen ice right in the middle of it in there. The Fountain Mountain is alive and growing today. It's cold out there. Nominations for 2 major award shows have been announced. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
The winds hit heavy on the borderline.
Who wrote this? He did.
A Complete Unknown is well known to the Screen Actors Guild. The Bob Dylan movie has received 4 SAG Award nominations, including Outstanding Performance by a Cast. The other films up for that award: Anora with 3 total nominations, Conclave with 2 nods, Emilia Perez with 3, and Wicked with 5.
Brought you all out here to join me in looking forward toward the future.
The Brutalist director Brady Corbett won the Golden Globe. Now he's up for a Directors Guild Award. The other DGA nominees are a SAG replay: Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Sean Baker for Anora, Edward Berger for Conclave, and James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Meanwhile, another award show has been postponed. The Critics' Choice Awards reportedly have been pushed back 2 weeks to January 26th. The ceremony is held in Santa Monica, just a few miles from the out-of-control Palisades fire, already the most destructive fire in Los Angeles County history. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Sony is working to bring immersive gaming to a whole new level, and it's one that includes smell-o-vision. So Sony unveiled its immersive entertainment concept at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas earlier this week. The video shows several people stepping into the world of the popular video game The Last of Us. The walls of the room are made of LED panels. The experience also includes surround sound, scent, sense of touch, and motion technology. It is completely interactive. It's still a proof of concept, so it's unknown where or when fans will actually be able to experience it for themselves.
The parents of late PGA Tour golfer Grayson Murray say they will launch the Grayson Murray Foundation in honor of their son. The goal of the foundation is to raise awareness and support of mental health and addiction challenges. Murray died by suicide last year. Murray was from Raleigh, competing often in local tournaments like the Rex Hospital Open. He was honored at the UNC Health Championship shortly after his death.
5 wildfires burning out of control. This is a live look at the Eaton fire near Los Angeles. The status of containment from firefighters.
Preparing for winter weather, the work DOT crews are doing this morning to keep you safe in the event of snow or ice on the way.